everyone. So, this is me back with Violet Memoir. And I'm here with this game again because it's been a while. It's been a bit since I did a video on this one. And I don't have any, well, I have excuses for that, but, I don't think they'd interest you. Well, I should probably tell you guys, considering that I was at 300 and I lost 2 subscribers, so whatever, not a big deal. The main reason why I've been slacking on videos recently is because, well, not really videos, but just, the main thing I do on this channel, just the VN stuff. Reason for that is because I spent, like, a solid weekend, a while on this one story, which drained my fucking head so much that I couldn't focus on anything else, and by the time it was finished, I needed recuperating time. So, yeah. That doesn't happen often. It only really happens when I try and tackle a really difficult story for myself, which, it's not like this was difficult, it's just the formatting was hard. And also, having to create fictional texts within the fictional text is also quite taxing. So yeah, let's just that's why I have been slacking on the videos. I know I don't want to hear it, but I should get back into it. I think we last left off with our main character here waking up from the nightmare where he saw Lucas in the noose and all that stuff. My body jolts, my muscles tighten as I spring up, barely managing to stop myself from shouting out in panic. My hands are trembling with panic. Okay, redundant. That's a bit redundant. You could change that word to something else, like my hands are trembling with fear. Because you already have shouting and panic, and you panic in the next sentence, which is not good writing. My hands are trembling with fear as I dig my claws deeper into whatever I'm holding. Oh, it's Lucas's tail. A pained whimper next to me rips my unfocused eyes towards the source. A few more agonizing moments, my blurred vision finally clear and able to make out what's causing that pitiful noise. It's Lucas, and he's looking with a mixture of concernable fear. His ears are pressed hard against his head, and his eyes are misty. Occasionally, lets out another pained whimper. It's barely audible behind the sound of my own breathing. What? Wallace, please let go. Shocks me to realize exactly what I'm doing. Hands are gripping Lucas's tail tightly, claws digging into fur and skin. Doesn't look like there's any blood yet, but it still looks excruciating. I thought I released it tough from my grip, but that doesn't stop my hands from shaking with adrenaline. Lucas quickly slips his tail back behind him. His attention is still focused on me. There's no anger or resentment there, only worry. Shock fills my mind, and I'm barely able to notice that the entire class is silent, their attention solely on me. Were you screaming in your... Okay, yeah, a nightmare like that, Yeah, a nightmare like that, I would be making sounds outside the dream, too. Jesus. That was a genuinely disturbing nightmare. Standing up, I snatch my laptop bag and rush to the exit. The bouncy motion of running gives me a sense of dizziness, but I force myself to push my way through the door. The corridor outside the room is cold and fills me with dread. It's just a normal hallway, unlike the more rotting, decrepit one from my nightmare. But that doesn't stop the lingering panic in my chest to push me to pick up my pace, and I'm barely able to keep myself from running. The stairwell itself feels different now. It's just as cold as the corridor, but the air feels refreshing. God, I love the fucking music in this VN. It's so up my alley. It's so up my alley, it's not even fair. This is the kind of stuff I'd listen to while reading. Like, it's not even funny. But, yeah, I like the way that the writer here is describing the after nightmare dread. Because I've had that happen to me so many times, where I just wake up in the middle of the night, like around 2 or 3 from a nightmare, and I'm just scared. and I literally can't get back to sleep unless I turn a light and like read or something for a bit. It's not fun. I read that. Very light, gentle breeze brushes against my face, and the sensation of relief that surges through me is familiar. It's like when I left home with a lot more frantic movement and breathing. Barely managed a few more steps before needing to lean against the handrail, my breath still coming out as heaving rasps that echo in the silent stairwell. Seconds go by in near silence, and I can feel myself calming down. My breathing begins to get slower and slower until it's a barely audible pant. So I said in the previous videos that I think he left home because his house was tainted with the memory of maybe a sibling committing suicide in it. And if that's the case, then this nightmare that he just had is fucking horrible. It's so much worse than I was thinking. My brain caught up to my emotions caught up to my rationale first, finally. It's at this moment that I realized it was just what's been going on. What an awful fucked up dream. Did I really think that up? I don't think I was that disturbed. No. That's not how I did this to myself all the time. When I would do something and I would like fucking deride myself for the simplest things, and that leads to very bad stuff. Don't do this. But it was so vivid, so raw. I could feel the coldness of the key in my hand, and the sound of his snapping neck is still ringing in my head. Yeah, if what happened actually did happen, then it makes sense you would hear the sound of that vividly. Yeah. Because it's in your memory. The way he hung there, like there was nothing left but cold resentment staring down at me. That empty, hollow stare, the rush of emotions, the total silence. Emotions overwhelm me and I just sit down, but my legs won't move anymore. I didn't realize how tired I am, and not from lack of sleep, not anymore. I'm just a bit fatigued from working myself up, or at least I hope so. Shuffling over towards the stairs, I sit down on the bottom step and pull out my phone. My thumb hovers over the message tab, but the thought that his message might be there is terrifying. Pushing through the hesitation of my text, bracing myself whatever I might find. But there's no weird message there, nothing from Marcus at all, just my latest text from Billy. Of course it wasn't real, why would it be? Despite the relief flowing through me, there's a lingering ache still in my chest as my eyes linger on my saved messages folder. Not allowed to dwell on it though, as the silence is shattered by the sound of someone jogging down the hall. Just a few moments later, a familiar face rounds the corner. Lucas. I already love this person so much. It's Lucas, and he's looking out of breath, nearly tripping when he sees me before rushing over. Wow, thank God you haven't left yet. I was worried I wasn't gonna catch you. You okay? You look really scared. You were grabbing my tail really tight. Did something? Lucas, I'm okay. I'm just a little shook up. I think reading that diary last night messed me up a bit, and I've been having a lot of nightmares lately. Examining Lucas, he's just about as shaken about this as I am. He's panting heavily and looking more disheveled than before. Closer inspection, I can see his hands are trembling and his ears are pressing flat against his head. Of course, I didn't think about this would affect him. He's already in a pretty vulnerable state, being stuck here at school. Lashing out as I did must have made things even worse for him. I am sorry. I must have given you a fright. I'm fine, believe me. It's just a messed up dream. No, you don't need to apologize. Please don't apologize. Tears well up in his eyes. It isn't just anger that Lucas expresses explosively. He wears all his emotions on his sleeve. Right. Sorry. Is your tail okay? I didn't mean to hurt it. I know. no, you did not. It's doing okay. Just a little saucy. Just tell for himself, the obsidian black fur sheens in this small amount of sunlight coming from above. Sensation of soft fur still lingers on my cheek as Fox sent familiarity of my lackluster nose. Lifting his tail flick back and forth is soothing, like listening to the ticking of a clock. Relaxingly repetitive like a metronome. Lucas looks like he's calming to himself. His breathing is steadying, and any form of trembling seems to have stopped. A soft smile slowly begins to creep across the fox's face. A sense of relief and joy fills his eyes, lighting up his entire face. I'm glad you're okay. I felt like I did something wrong and upset you. But no, you were fine. It really was just a nightmare. Lucas nods his head, but I don't think he entirely believes me. He's got that soft smile, but his ears are pressed against his head and he's fidgeting with his hands. Stop game. I've said it before and I'm gonna say it again, but Lucas reminds me too much of myself and it's kind of scaring me. It's like someone took my personality and put it into a fucking character. Like, I'm actually kind of creeped out by it at times. I'm afraid Lucas is gonna hurt himself again by clawing at his ears. I wish I knew why he did that. Maybe I could help. I'm pretty sure it's a self-harm thing. If it's not, then I'm really glad, but I have a very bad feeling that it is a self-harm thing. I don't know. Are you doing okay? I know being here makes you uncomfortable. That gets his attention. His ear is perking up in a cute gesture of surprise. Looks away from me before answering, refusing to make eye contact with me as his ears flush. Yeah, I'm doing better now. I'm not as bad as it's not as bad as in class when it's not as bad when I'm in class. Plus, I looks nervous and starts to reach up with his hands, but stops himself. He opens his mouth a couple times, but nothing comes out, like he's unable to find the words. There's a poignant silence between us. I could say something, but I don't want to rush him. Eventually finds his voice again. Yeah, I was a bit distracted with worrying about you. It got my mind off it. Thank you. His tail flicks behind him, reminding me of a dog's wagging tail, and despite the blush in his ears, he returns his attention back to me. Sorry, I'm pretty fucking shit at this reassuring thing. He ended up just comforting me. Stop, game. I have literally said that sentence to people. I'm not even... God, I hate this. This time, Lucas does reach up and grab his ears before he has the chance to pull them down or by the sound of multiple footsteps coming down the hall. Just himself, but can't hide how jittery and uncomfortable he is. I guess not being in class only helps so much. Oh god, this bitch, I hate her. Around the corner comes the other two members of our group. Quickly get off the step, not letting them be too worried about me. Don't think I'll be too successful, but I have to try. She has a look of shock on her face when she sees us at the stairs, and her sudden stop almost calls the other two to walk into her. Oh, why didn't you guys be here? Doing okay? You look really upset earlier. Yeah, I was just overreacting. Lucas was worried about me and helped me out. More like he ended up comforting me. I didn't do shit. He's acting abrasively, but his body language and expression reveals that he's embarrassed by my compliment. Even Lily gives a chuckle when she glances over. Glad you're doing better, but you probably shouldn't head home right away. Probably still vulnerable and no one should be alone after a panic attack. Oh my god, shut the fuck up, bitch. Yeah, I understand. You're probably right. Are we going back to class? Oh no, I told the professor and he said we could leave early. I just explained that we had already decided on the topic earlier and I wanted to make sure you were okay. Ew, 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 no. Great, the good scenes are over, now this person's back. Looks like the mini shit wasn't just for fun. Oh, it was definitely fun. We gotta do it again sometime. Lily gills at his childish enthusiasm, but Lucas and Lee are ignoring him, focusing on me instead, their neutral expressions hiding what they're thinking. The atmosphere having everyone here is already relaxing. It really does feel things around by a group of friends. You've known these people for a day. Doing more classes today, so I can't stay around, but I'm sure there's someone else. We just finished all their classes for the day. Guys? I don't go to the other classes anyway. I was going to the library to study. It's quiet there if you know where to go. You can go along if you want, I wouldn't mind. Isn't that casually what Octavia spent time with the other classes? I'm pretty happy. His tail filled with excitement, swishing back and forth across the floor. Oscar notices the student's got a music grin stretched across his face, but he thankfully doesn't say anything. It gives me a knowing look alongside a wink. I hate you. Reminds me how he looked when he entered the apartment building the first day. Just as cute too. Shut the no, he's not. Finished for the day, but I do have to go pick up my sister. She has soccer club on Wednesday. She'll be done soon. I don't like to leave her to walk home alone. You can come though. I'm all clear for the day too. First I gotta head over to the gym for a swim. Ew. Oh, you came along though, Wallace. Not often I get to show up my swimming abilities. What we hunters are built for, you know. I feel like it isn't the swimming abilities he wants to show off. Yeah, he's a perv. We all get it. Looks like I have options. I'd have to get some food before the class. I'll text you later. Make sure you're doing good, okay? Yeah, thanks. I'm sure I'll be fine though. Bet you will too. Doesn't mean I get to be worried. Doesn't mean I don't get to be worried. And then with that, she skips up the stairs. She seemed to always have this positive aura about her. It's infectious. I already miss having her presence in the group. How? I don't like her at all. So Wells, you're gonna go with? Yes, here we go. Here we go with the route choice. Sorry. Oh boy, well, it's time to save and make a fucking slide for every one of these people. Obviously, we're doing Lucas first. That isn't even a contest. This isn't even a thing that I'm debating in my head. We're doing Lucas first. End of story. And we're doing Lee because he's way, way better than Oscar in every conceivable way. Ugh, I do not like Oscar at all. He's a fucking awful character. He's literally so one-dimensional, I can't even express it. And I don't like one-dimensional characters, in case you didn't know. Maybe a lot more to him, but I fucking doubt it. I fucking doubt it, mate. Tell you on Lucas Library. I think I'll with Lucas. Today's been a bit much, and I think just sitting down for a bit would probably do me some good. In truth, though, that's only partially the reason. The other is that I'm worried about Lucas. He's in pretty bad shape, but I just want to make sure he's okay. Lucas looks surprised. He wasn't expecting me to pick him, but he looks happy too, his tail flicking around with excitement, thankfully avoiding the dusty floor. Looks like Lee approves of this idea, giving me a firm nod and walking over to pat me on the shoulder. Grip is tight, but not painful, just firm. It's a great idea. Don't push yourself, just take time to relax. Looks back at Lucas, who's still standing there dumbstruck, and snaps his tail against the ground, making a sharp cracking sound. That startles the fox out of his dazed state and regains his focus. Sorry, I was just surprised. I wasn't expect. What? That he wouldn't pick you? Sure, find number two jump in the conversation. His words come a bit harsh, but I does try to make light of the situation. Yeah, in the worst possible way. Get the fuck out of here, dipshit. Luke, on the other hand, looks to have taken it completely seriously. His ears drooping, and he looks timidly toward the ground. Exactly. That's what happens when people with that personality have an idiot like this say something like that. Shit, I spilled coffee over my fucking face. God damn it. Fucking. Ugh. Yeah, you guys seem like a better time. I'd probably just make things worse. Try to help, just ended up being comforted by Wallace. I'm not good at this kind of thing. Looks really upset, like he's about to start crying. I knew it. I was definitely correct. Lucas in a vulnerable headspace. A bit clawing into his tail didn't help. Maybe you should go on you instead. What? No way. You're really fun and cute. Just trying to once again lift up the mood of the room, but it doesn't look like it'll be working, Lucas. If anything, it's making things worse. His ears are now pressing down hard against his head, and he's digging his chin to his chest. Yeah, fuck off already, dipshit. Lee knows as well and leans down later, whispering softly into it while the other two are distracted. Look out for him. He's a good kid. He's definitely needing some company, too. Looks down at him with a soft smile and then a gaze. Green eyes filled with reassurance and confidence. I'm not able to say anything without word in the moment, so I can only give a nod that looks to satisfy him. Pulling away from me with one final squeeze on my shoulder, Lee walks over to Oscar and grabs his wrist, tugging at it slightly. Not forcefully, just enough to get his attention. You're only making things worse, just let them talk. It's between them, not us. Exactly. Finally, someone with a bit of common sense. Can Oscar please get run over by a fucking truck? Please. He's terrible. I hate him. Oscar looks like he's going to protest, but after looking at Lee's face, they come to understanding. His overabundance of joy falters, and he relents, taking a step away from the fire. Oh, overabundance of joy? You mean overabundance of stupidity? Yeah, sorry, man. I just thought you could try and make things a little better. You don't understand how to handle people like him, okay? You don't understand their personality. Because I am so much like Lucas, it's insane. It's kind of creepy. I know. I'm sure Lucas knows you mean well, too. He places his free hand on Lucas' shoulder as well, squeezing it like he did to me. Soothes Lucas a bit, the tension leaving his shoulders. His ears are still pressed down, and he manages to look up at the tall marsupial. Doing fine, kid. That's all he said before he began to walk away, pulling Oscar along. Doesn't struggle in the slightest. In fact, he's smiling and muttering something I can't hear to Lee. Lucas looks like he wants to say something, but he's struggling to find the words. Before he can get anything out, the two of them are already out of sight. Sound of their steps growing more distant with each passing second. Look over to him, and he looks like he's still contemplating what to say. I don't know if he's unsure what to say to them or to me, but it's like the hesitation has frozen him like an iceberg. You alright? Surprises him, his ears flickering for just a moment before pressing back down against his head, his whole composure ajar before returning to his usual grumpy disposition. Stop describing me! God damn it. This has to be like a 1 in a million fucking chance for a fucking writer. You're comforting me again when I should be the one who when you should be the one who should be comforted. But you did help me though. What? Eyes wide and confusion sparks across his face like lightning. Entire body sullen except for his tail, which seems to have awakened, flicking about excitedly. Why is he so cute? It's rather cute, especially with his ears pointed up, exposing their pink, lightly furred insides. He came rushing out, it really helped. I was feeling really alone, and having you around made me feel a lot better, so thank you. His eyes grow glassy as the rest of his body breaks from its frozen form. So, my god! Ah! Single motion, the fox wraps his arms around me and holds me tightly against him, burying his face in my neck. Fucking cute! It's startling but not unpleasant. After a moment's hesitation, I return the hug and we stand still in the stairwell, just basking in the warm company of each other. The only sounds are the occasional sob and the barely audible patter of tears on my shoulder. Ooh, library. Oh, look at all the books. Yes. God, The entire library was quiet but not awkward. A comfortable silence, one filled with content. Lucas is doing much better. His entire body is much more animated, and especially his usual suspects, his ears and tail. Keeping close to me as he walks through the large sliding door, his arms brushing against each other every second step. Normally I'd be opposed to this, but he looks to be taking solace in the intimacy. If not loose has been a pleasant distraction from my own thoughts, plus seeing him like this is a reward in and of itself. requires some work, and Lucas doesn't always make it easy, but making it feel safe and happy makes me feel just as happy too. God, you're so cute. So you're able to see the rows of bookcases. Lucas' demeanor changes completely. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much me too. I like completely relax when I'm like in a library or bookstore. It's just like, oh, I'm in my element. I can like look around, I can see what books are there, and like some of them, God. He did mention before library didn't make him uncomfortable, but I didn't think it would actively soothe him. Oh, it definitely does. It definitely does for me. It's like it's a fucking comfort zone. Such a stark difference from the first time we talked here together, but then again, he was going back to a group of strangers. Grabbed the same arm and tugged the surprising florist, drove me toward one of the aisles of books. The Asian history section, apparently. This way, there's a small table at the end of this aisle. Barely anyone goes around here. It's really quiet. Thought I was leaving without protest, being sure I don't accidentally knock out one of the numerous protruding books or trip up the numerous stools for the floor. Didn't know library was something to look out for. We reached down to the bookcases and were surprised by a large open space, like a select area for people to come read. Next to the giant window, which is much taller than me, sits a small table that could fit 3 people at most. Sticky with the station, I could sit next to him. That one to sit on their side and have so much distance between us. Through the window opposed, I was able to see students had begun flowing out of the buildings. At some classes must have ended. Opening his tattered suitcase, Lucas fishes out a giant pile of papers and puts them to the side. I recognize him immediately as the bunch he dropped when we first met. They are in just as messy of a pile as the last time I saw them. I think I said this before, but yeah, this is an American. The Z, and recognize. Before I could ask about them, Lucas already moved on to pulling out a series of books and piling them on the other end of the table. The pile's high enough that I'd have to stand up to see the top book's cover. Me. Literally me if I had my way in bookstores. It would be fucking ridiculous. If I had the money, and I was just given... I was like, if I had enough money and I went into some bookstores, yeah, that's me. That's me right there. The books are all different sizes and colors, ranging from typical education readings to high fantasy adventure books. Like he's hoarding any book he can get his hands on, regardless of genre, size, or if it's fiction or non-fiction. Wow! God, I'm liking this dude more and more. Everything's happening so fast I'm barely able to get my question out before we can move on to something else. What's all this for? Enjoyment. To read. Reading's fun. And shut the fuck up if you say otherwise, because you're a liar. His ears perk up and his eyes widen in total shock. Wonder if he forgot I was here. Looked like he was following a routine, one that doesn't usually involve another participant. It's like he was off at his own rules. Stop! Stop, game. That's me. You've described me in like 3 sentences. Jay's schoolwork. All this already? Told you I'm a junior. Things are just more intense now. It's an obvious line not to push him about it, but remember that it isn't my place to put pressure on him. He's had a rough day and needs support. Mystery is solved for me pretty quickly as his ears droop and he looks toward me, his expression full of shame. Looks like a little kid who just got bullied for the first time. Sorry, that's a lie. I shouldn't lie to you. You've only ever been kind and understanding toward me. Gives me a soft, gentle smile. The golden light of the setting sun basks his features beautifully like a blanket of warm elegance. Left breathless as our eyes made, his eyes reflected in the evening's radiance. Stop, he's so cute. I'm unable to take my eyes away from him, and he looks toward the window bashfully. See his cheeks and ears getting pink through his fur. Small one of respite, he managed to continue to smile with an awestruck expression. These are from my other class, and I wasn't lying about that. I've mentioned this before, but I don't go in my other classes. I don't feel comfortable in them. Shaking his enters his voice, and brought out my torpor. Reaching my arm towards his own, I cautiously placed my hand on top of his, trying hoping to comfort him. In surprise, Lucas turns his hand over and grasps mine. It's awkward, but his grip is tight as if he's scared. Feels well-groomed fur against my skin. It's so soft, it's almost overwhelming. I don't want to regain his composure. He continues. In order for me to make sure I stay up to date, I'm constantly reading about what we're learning and writing down whenever I study, so I can come back to it if I need to. That's smart. That's honestly really smart. You need to study all of this? The sheer amount of books and papers written is still unbelievable. It's only the first week, there's no way he needs to do all this now. What kind of courses is he taking? Shocking me again, Lucas gives a yip. It's a happy one, filled with amusement. Sounds like a laugh you stereotypically expect a fox to make. No, I email the professors about what I need to read, and they help a lot. The school's surprisingly understanding, or at least the professors I've gotten off for the most part. So what's all this for? Oh, well, looks away shyly even further from the window. He turns his head completely away from me, but it's hard, but I can see the very sides of his cheeks turn an even deeper shade of red. This must be embarrassing for him. Well, I actually get a bit carried away. I just find this stuff so much organic, I want to learn more. I ended up reading more and more until I had all this. So all this is because you wanted to do it. I realized after I said it came out a little more judgmental I was attending, but thankfully Lucas doesn't seem to notice. He just took the question more straightforward. Yeah, I've always loved a war, and I just wish it wasn't so. That sentence describes that describes me. Yeah, definitely. Now we're looking at the reason we're here in the first place, high in the corner of a library. I don't mean this in a bad way, but if this being here makes you so uncomfortable, why are you here? Surely there is some completely wrong courses you could take. Give his hand a squeeze open. That will give him some reassurance that I'm not judging or admonishing him, and I just want him to understand. Squeezes back tightly into my gaze. His face once again bathed in the beautiful evening sun. She'd take off his glasses so he could see his eyes of the light reflecting off the lenses. He needs those to see, dude. I'm here because I want to change. There's conviction in his voice, an unwavering resolve that I've never heard from him before. He still gripped my hand tightly. I wonder if that's helping him. Told you before, I don't want to be this way. I don't want to always be on the way to be scared or around others. Help. To let my fear of this place control me. So I thought Latina is just... Lucas just hangs his head, his shoulders in, shaking. The hand grip mine is just as tight as ever. Jeez. I don't want to let him struggle like this, or at least I don't want him to have to struggle alone. If I'm here, I know I can help. Or at least try to. Shuffle my chair closer to the foxy. There's a notice doesn't react. What he does react to is my arm wrapped around his shoulder. I can't give him proper eye, but I can try my best. Straightened himself from the entire body frozen as someone just grabbed his tail and cruelly yanked it. After a moment he relaxes and even leans towards me, allowing me to wrap my arms around him. That we're so close I can feel his heartbeat. There's a fragility to him that I hadn't noticed, and I'm not meaning it physically, but mentally. It's almost like he's an autumn leaf. Brittle, but still beautiful. Jesus Christ, stop. If there's one thing that I'm noticing this author is really good at, it's fucking depicting how fucking pretty these characters are. Like, dude. Scent of fox floods my nose. It's not unpleasant. A nice floral scent is mixed in, and though I'm not unsure what flower it's supposed to be, it blends well with its natural aroma. Of course, musk, totally. We sit there and repose together, feeling as though time itself has stopped just for the two of us. A beautiful patch in time, bathed in the progressively waning sunlight. Someone's gonna stumble upon them. Thank you for everything. Tranquility is shattered by Lucas's soft mutters into my chest. Looking down, the first thing I notice is how my arch more relaxed he looks, like he's released some intense weight. The first time not being distracted by his eye and able to see just how handsome the rest of him looks too. His dark fur is smooth and shimmers, surprisingly lithe and strong. Doesn't seem like they leave the house often. This nice jolt someone against my chest is soft. Okay, there's a lot going on here. Every morning has come to an end, and Lucas eventually pulls away from me and sits up straight, resuming his original posture. We adjust his fur like it's instinct, second nature, exclusive to this strange fox. eyes are glassy, they don't look sad. They twinkle with reflections of the sun. He looks more serene than I've ever seen him before. I have to hold back the instinct to pull him back against my chest. What other classes do you have? Huh? What other classes do you have? I can probably help you out with them. I spend a lot of time self-learning, so I can probably help with other classes you have. Yeah, so do I. I take my time to read about a lot of stuff. Bio, Lit, and Economics. 103 or 112. 103, I think it's about classic literature. What books? Are there any good ones? Are there any good ones? Please, let me fucking go crazy ham on this, because I will, buddy. I did there, what's the reading? Love Letters of a Duchess. It's a bit confusing. Hard to follow. The old-timey speech and like it because the timeline throws me off a lot. Yeah, apparently that's a lot of people's problems. I'm just like, dude, just power through it. That's all you need to do. It's not that hard. We didn't do that. When would I have read it? Let me help. Oh, I don't have the book on me. Liz until tomorrow. Plus, it's fine. It's just reading. I can do... That's fine. I can help. Trust me. Stay here. Before I can respond any further, Hocus gets up and disappears back down the ancient history aisle, heading deeper in the library out of my sight. Honestly, I don't think I've read this one. I've read a lot, but I haven't read that one, apparently. I mean, I even get enough time to wonder what's happening before Lucas has already returned with a book in his hand, a very familiar book. Didn't even know all the errors in my high school library that I spent in it in lunch, but somehow Lucas knew exactly where to find this book in seconds. Yeah, that's probably how I would react, how I would be if I was whatever. Yeah, I didn't have it as on, but a reading circle I'm part of online recommended. It's a really great read. You got lucky. It's not engaging me very well. I've never heard of this one. At least I don't think I have, but I'm sure it is really good. That's because you're having issues following it. Like I said, let me help. You like this level of choice and what's going to happen. I wonder if this is a Fox thing or a Lucas thing. People always said Fox were going to get what they want, but I always thought it was a joke or an unfair stereotype. Flipping to the start of the book, Lucas helps break down the structure to make it easier to follow, pointing out little signals for when the story has changed times. I'm taken aback by the confidence he's displaying. It's like anything I've seen from before. Yes, when you're in your comfort zone, for me it's literature, you're way more confident. And I'm definitely seeing more of myself in this dude. Great. Even though we spent 20 minutes breaking down the first few chapters recommended reading I was given, the time flies by, and I really do feel like I understand the book better by the end. Next hour is a peaceful silence like any routine past the chapter requirement. Lucas is now focused on his own workload. The only sound around us is the tapping and scribbling of his pen. When I finally notice the sun is almost completely set. Yeah, when I'm reading and I get really into it, I sometimes completely forget my surroundings. Like, I'm just gone. I close my book and look over to my companion. He's been silent for a long time. What I see, though, is his body slumped onto the table, his breathing soft and noticeable now I'm paying attention to it. He's fallen asleep directly on top of the book he was reading. Thankfully, he doesn't seem to drool. His head's resting on one of his arms while the other still has the pen between his fingers. The only move coming off is the occasional twitch of his tail. There's a large gray tip flicking around erratically. It responds to something in his dream if I had to guess. I wonder what he's dreaming about. That's mean potential. He looks peaceful. Consider just going back to read until he wakes up, but it'll probably be a better idea to help him before the sun completely sets. Gently placed in his arm, I rub it gently while whispering to his name. Tried to be extra light with my touch, and he was high-strung earlier today, and I didn't want to freak him out. He's always been a bit jumpy. After a few seconds of this, Trinity stirs quietly, slightly, a quiet groan is in between his lips. But he quickly recovers and pushes himself off the table. Easy now, just me. His foot are partially open, he looks toward me with unfocused eyes. His glasses are crooked, only allow one eye to see through them. He looks so goofy that it makes me giggle, but that only adds to his confusion. Just in his glasses and checking his fur for any fluffed out areas, he makes himself look like his usual formal self. Sorry for waking you. Thought you might want to head home before it gets dark. No, you're fine. I shouldn't have passed out. I just don't get a lot of sleep, so this happens a lot. How much is a lot? More than you're thinking, I can assure you. Oh, I'm sorry. I should let you sleep more than I didn't realize. No, you shouldn't have. Like I said, I'd rather not head home after dark. I just have problems sleeping. That's why I'm up most nights. You mentioned that at class today that you sleep around when I did last night. Yeah, that happens most nights. It's a fucking problem. Turn a foul language into this. This is clearly a sore spot for the fox, but I decided to steer the conversation away from it. Should we head back then? We don't have much long before it gets dark. Yeah, thanks for coming today. I really enjoy the company. Me too. It's really great to see you in your element. He's a confused look on his face, and he thinks about that for a second, his tail stopping completely as if he's trying to process something. Doesn't respond for a couple of seconds, so I clarify myself. You look a lot more comfortable here. Now that he understands, it causes his ears to perk up with surprise. In fact, his entire body posture seems to sit up straighter. It's very cute to watch. Yeah, I really enjoy reading and book. Well, those are the same thing. Do you understand? Plus, it's not directly part of the school, so that helps a lot. So can we go? And she just now rather strained, especially his confusion. As what I said earlier, but I want to press him about his beginning to look a little jittery, and I'm pretty sure it's because of whatever just happened. Good grief, I get it. The weather is 64 degrees. Cool, I guess. After packing up and outside, there's an awkward silence almost between us. The mood is heavy and Lucas doesn't acknowledge it at all. I'm almost tempted to break the silence myself, but I'm not even sure where to start. Do you want to come back to my place? So now the question I'm sent reeling. Feels so at odds with the moods between us. But he's looking at me with such innocent eyes, as if he didn't even notice the unpleasant distance between us. Worried he was upset with him being so pushy to leave, but he doesn't seem to be upset at all. In fact, he even gives a smile after the question. He realized he needed an answer, so I gave a firm nod before giving verbal confirmation. Sure. Like the shaky tone of my voice, Lucas seemed to appreciate it. Not sure if it's because he wants more company or for another reason, but regardless, the smile and flicking ears are able to bring a smile of my own. The mood between us improved significantly after that. I don't think he planned for it to happen, but I'm glad things are going smoothly. More importantly, I'm glad Lucas is doing well. He always seems so stressed. We walked together up the hill towards our apartment complex, the street bathed. Beautiful ardent glow. The cool autumn air is contrasted by the warm ambience around. That is not how you spell that. There is a bit of problems there. The only thing ruining us from the atmosphere is the constant humming of motors and the eager chittering of students around us, but even that doesn't bother Lucas. Burning amber eyes, looking peaceful. Such a stark contrast the first time we walked over together, and instead of Lucas looking about to rip his ears off, he looks calmer than ever. Don't know if it's because of the library or my influence, but either way, I'm glad I came. Everything that really was worth it just to see the side of him. He's still the same nervous and explosive fox I met a few days ago, but I know he's a good guy with some issues like all of us. What are you looking at? Comes out surprisingly aggressive, his eyes now staring directly at my own. Immediately notices that he's said something out of place because his ears pressed down against his head. My reaction must have tipped him off. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Your staring just made me nervous. Didn't seem right like that when we were in the library together. I can't explain it. Everything just felt calm and okay, like there wasn't any stress and I didn't need to. There's clearly more way for him to carry on, but he never does. There's definitely something more to what's going on, but I don't want to pry. He's already opened a lot more than I was expecting. I want to brush him. How you doing? Feeling better from the nightmare? Oh yeah, honestly, I kind of forgot about it. It's great, right? I think that's great, is it? Right? He's twitching his tail, flicks anxiously about, his smile wavering slightly, but he's waiting for confirmation from me, almost like he's not sure how he should be acting. I guess it must be hard to him. He doesn't seem like he's had a lot of friends before. We're a lot alike in that regard. You can say that again, Jesus. Yeah, it is. Thank you for taking the library today. I really had a good time. quells the more negative reactions he was having, and he turns away bashfully, almost looking embarrassed, but still happy. Reminds me a lot of how Lucas reacted to compliments at the library. Alright, when he forgot to ask my name. Do you like the library? Yeah, I don't really in my room often. When I do, it's mostly to go to the library. It's calm in there. What do you do that eat? Read mostly? I told you, I love to read, whether just to learn or to find a story. God. True. God, I love him. I love him. Do you have any specific genres you like? Mostly just fantasy, I guess. It's just fun and interesting. I know that sounds stupid. Sometimes I want to escape from everything. Used by the sudden shift at the end, I glanced toward the fox, only to see him freezing with his ears, thankfully not tugging them yet. Prepared to stop the conversation there to give Lucas some room, but he continues it before I can. What about you? Do you have any electric books you like to read? Oh boy, Lucas. You would be so surprised at my bookshelf. Oh, honestly, I have more than 100 books on my shelves. Then there's also some in the closet, and yeah. There's a lot of books in this house, in my room. Such a simple question, I'm having difficulty answering it. It's not that it's particularly hard to answer, but I'm not even sure what I could put there at all. Well, I read literature. I read just whatever literature I can get my hands on. Proust, Joyce, Saramago, Rushdie, Ezra Pound, Mircea Călinescu. So many fucking authors, and they're always great. I need to get more Alexander Thoreau and other authors, but Jesus Christ. Oh my god, don't go on a fucking literature rant in the middle of this. Not really a rant, but more just like tirade. Not sure, really. I read sometimes and played games, but I never had a proper hobby, not like a reading club or anything. I was hoping I could find something here. Cause his eyebrows to furrow deep in thought, and I expect him to invite me to his book club, but he doesn't, which I'm thankful for, because I don't know if I want to commit that much to books. Oh, you fucking loser, just do it. Why don't I get off this topic and the conversation on a high note? I say one last thing about our trip. You're a great tutor, I made everything easy to understand. Doesn't respond with the point of his tail and the soft flicking of his ears show me all I need to see. Once again glad he wears his emotions on his sleeve. And the growing silence retreat into warm, quiet ambience. That's the right spelling. Okay. The other's presence destroys the needs for words. God, just fuck already, Jesus. First thing I noticed as we entered Lucas's apartment is the overpowering smell of fox. When I suddenly went for her, smell fading away like it wasn't there. Sorry about that. The neutralizer didn't remove the scent from around the door very well. I hope that wasn't too bad. There's a limit or worried of the fox having taken a step inside his apartment yet. Its bad habits are resurfacing at a rapid pace, but these are far from anything too bad. He carries on, his voice squeaking as usually hidden southern drawl sneaks in as he tried to over-explain the scent remover. My roommate complained about the scent first, but I wasn't used to using that kind of neutralizer, so I'm pretty bad with it. You're fine, don't worry about it. Still feels strange to be the supportive rock, but I think I'm doing a good job when he perks up whenever I compliment and reassure him. Leads me further in, and I must blow about much bigger as apartment is than mine. There's a very similar bed setup, but across from there's a entire kitchen area. Kitchen's my gawk, and it quickly explains. Apartments on the first 2 floors have a kitchen, bathroom, and larger space, but they cost more. My parents wanted me to get this so I wouldn't have to use them to share kitchen and showers. I'm really thankful for that. It's massive. My room only is enough for bed's desk and a closet. His personality gets his head and he looks almost ashamed if he embarrassed his room was so good. Sorry, I must be gloating. I didn't mean to, I swear. What? No, you weren't. At least I didn't think you were. Didn't sound like it to me. It's just saying how great this room is. Kinda wish I was living in one of these instead. But you don't have a roommate. I bet that's pretty nice. Not as nice as you think. It's really lonely at night sometimes. What makes me miss home? Mentioned home, an empathetic glint signs from his eye before he even was away. Melancholic shade crossed his face. I miss home a lot too, but I come here every night. It helps a lot. This is barely a little whisper at the end of that sentence, like he was too scared to say it. As if saying it would make how far away he is from his family even more real. His family probably doesn't even live in Everwinter like mine does. And to reach out to comfort him, but recently turns around, his smile on his face, and noise coming out way too loud for how close we are. If you have any company, you can always come down here. We have a lot of room, as you could say. He gestures the room around us, and it sinks in just how big his room is, not just in the facility, but also in general space. The beds have a bigger gap between them, there's more room to walk. It's just big. Lucas sits at the edge of the bed, his bag missing from his shoulders. It was taken off when I was looking around the room. Not wanting to intrude, I awkwardly stand in the middle of the room, wondering if I'm allowed to sit at the desk or not. Taking a chance, I place a leg on top of the desk and take a seat. Unlike the door, the desk has a light scent of something else, likely a mustard, but the neutralizer has covered up most of it, so I can't get a clear picture. Bet Lucas is no way able to pick it up, though. Those notes doesn't notice anything. You don't use this desk often, do you? No, I prefer the library on my bed. The desk was very small and have a ton of papers. It's useless for me. Looking over at Lucas, he doesn't seem to be doing anything other than resting on the bed and watching me. Be unnerving, but Lucas has such a strange aura about him, innocent but not naive. They actually put the right character in there. I love that. Feels like he's just more of an odd duck than being creepy. Wonder if Lee and Oscar think I'm both innocent and naive. I don't like to think of myself as innocent, but maybe that is naive of me. Thinking of Lee and Oscar does bring up a topic I wanted to ask Lucas about at some point. Do you still not get along with the others? You mentioned the library, they don't mesh well with them, but I was hoping that maybe you did now. Lucas' ears fall down, his tail curls around to his front as if he's using it as a teddy bear to comfort himself. Looks away and towards the door as if trying to find something else he can focus on instead of the question. Maybe I should have asked, but before I can linger on that thought. I don't mind Lee, he's quiet and easy to understand, but we don't get along particularly well. Lily is really nice too, she's always helped when I'm having trouble with. Gets his sword for a second, goes silent. The only sound I can hear is the occasional brush of fur against the cotton blankets. Trouble with stuff, but she's not someone I want to hang alone with. None of them really are. Doesn't continue, it's very apparent he's making an obvious attempt dodging the full question. Consider just leaving it as it is, but if I ask, I'm gonna be able to help him. If I can help, I have to try. What about Oscar? His ears flat against his skull, his eyes shift down to the ground, his entire demeanor seems to slump downwards, like a puppet whose strings have been cut. He confuses me and it's frustrating. How does he confuse you? He seems pretty straightforward to me. No, it's hard to explain. I can't tell when he's being serious or just joking. Oh yeah, I struggle with that too. I can't tell if he's actually trying to flirt with me or not. No, you don't understand. Mutters that last part quietly. I want to respond, but it's clear he doesn't want me to hear that. I want to help him with this, get him to make me understand, but he needs to feel more comfortable with me first, then I hope he'll let me in. What about me? Huh? You don't seem too uncomfortable with me, at least I hope you aren't. Just a little joke trying to lighten the mood, but Lucas goes wide-eyed and perks his ears up. In fact, his entire body goes taut in a matter of seconds, and he jumps onto his feet. No! Swaners have to press him down to avoid Lucas' booming voice, the same voice used in the library earlier. Hope his neighbors don't file a complaint. You don't make me uncomfortable, you really don't. You're the first friend I've had in a long time, and you always gotta wait and make sure I'm doing okay. Tense aura is radiating and quickly dims, leaving him look like a hurt puppy. His drooping ears and tense jaw shows how much he's struggling to hold back tears. Did notice his heavy breathing, but now that there's silence between us, it sounds near booming like it's echoing in a large room. Grabbing his hand softly, I gently stroke across his knuckles, hoping this can calm him down. I think it works as his breathing slowly quiets down until it's just a light husk, barely audible even in the silence. Now it feels like a good time to ask about something more immediate. Why are you so much more comfortable with me? Is it because I make sure you're okay? It catches him off guard, causing him to stall, but unlike the previous moments of vulnerability, he's lacking that strained tension he had during his uproar. His eyes are equally wide, those amber eyes still burn even in the dim house light. I'm being a fidget, but in a different way than usual. They don't look like they're going to attack his ears anytime soon, so there's ringing in front of him like a guy who got kissed in a boy by his Oh boy. It's one of those moments when I remember just how cute Lucas can be and how much of an open book he is. Especially with his increasingly reddening ears. You don't really need a therapist though, he's embarrassed about it. Uh, Distinct clicking noise directs my attention toward the source of the sound, while I managed to get Lucas's ears flicking towards this noise as well. The noise of the door, the rattling of the handle is enough of a signal that Lucas's roommate must be home. He must have realized this too, as he yanks his hand out of mine with such urgency that it makes me a little worried about who exactly is coming in. My worries are a potentially homophobic individual are put on hold when I finally catch sight of him. Who the fuck are you? And why are you so cute looking? What the fuck? The first thing I notice is that he's tall, almost as tall as Oscar, without any of the muscle. And he's a pine marten. The second thing I notice is that what confused me about Lucas' reaction. In his right ear is a very gaudy ear cuff and chain, silver and standing out very prominently as it reflects the light from the ceiling. It gives him a very flamboyant look. The rest of his outfit is a loose purple shirt that doesn't even reach all the way down, allowing me to catch a little peek of his chocolate brown fur. A simple pair of black yoga pants. I'm going to pretend I don't see his white underwear, peeking nonchalantly above his waistband. Yeah, that doesn't look underwear. It looks like a fucking jockstrap. God, today was a mess. The guys are being such drama queens or not. Trust me when I say I could have gotten out there easy. What the fuck? Isn't it was either of us yet as he hangs an expensive looking handbag on the door. A heck that I didn't even know was missing from my room. Spin abruptly into the room and notice us. I'm once again left bewildered as he continues to adjust his hair in the mirror that's equally missing on my own door. I haven't always been very good at using my gaydar, but sometimes you don't even need to use one. So that just leaves me even more puzzled that Lucas has rushed to distance himself from me. Was he embarrassed? That's probably it. The blush still hasn't left his ears after all, and is beginning to peek through his cheek fur. Lewis, what the fuck? Finally catching on, there's something unusual going on. The Martin peeks his head towards us and his eyes immediately go wide. Completely forgetting about fixing his hair, the tall pine Martin immediately rushes over to us, looking absolutely elated in my presence. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I didn't even see you there. You must be Wallace. Listen, Lucas has told me so much about you. Yes, we've only known each other for 3 days. Oh yes, but Lucas couldn't stop talking about you. We've been roommates for over 2 years and he's never really made a friend, so you can imagine he's been pretty eager. Lucas has been growing progressively more embarrassed, slowly sinking himself down into bed as if a family member was telling everyone about a first thing that I made something stupid in elementary school. Well, I like to think he's made a few friends. So I've heard he's mentioned Lily and the other boys a few times. Nowhere near as much as you, though. Someone has a crush. Oh boy, we got the tsundere already. Oh boy. Leans in closer and whispers the next part in my ear, and as if Lucas's large fox ears would be able to pick it up anyway. Especially with how we held him on Monday. It's very cute. Light whimper can be heard from Lucas' direction, but makes no attempt to silence his roommate. I'm not sure if this is usual for him, just giving up or if he's letting him tell me. Martin decides to give in to Lucas' play and backs off, shifting himself to a straighter position before reaching a paw towards me. My eyes catch meticulously grim nails and fur that'll put even Lucas to shame. My name's R. I already know your name, so I don't need to introduce yourself. Ah? Yeah. R. It's French. Everyone just pronounces it Ari, so don't be ashamed to call me that. I don't mind. Martin's voice doesn't have any kind of French accent that I know of. The only noticeable thing about his voice is the surprising amount of twang. The sheer flamboyance coming off him is surprising. Don't know there are people this open. It's really refreshing. Never come across any gay guys before college, or at least any that were open. Alright, Ari it is. Great, so finished up your date? I can go if you need. Rocco's and I'll keep partying. The cute freshmen are always a little too eager. Whatever Ari just said causes Lucas to instantly shoot back over to his feet, panic oozing out of his pinprick eyes and erect ears. It's not a date. His voice at once disproportionately loud for how small of a space we're in, causing myself to jump with a start. Ari, on the other hand, is unfazed by the sudden burst of sound. Still dazed, Oh my god, someone went offline and my fucking Discord thing is messed up now. Go the fuck away. God damn it. Fucking Christ. Still dazzled, I realized I should probably intercept to stop Lucas from blowing out my eardrums. I had a pretty rough day, so Lucas offered to let me hang out with him till I felt better. We just got back from the library. Oh, that's so sweet. You're such a sweetheart. Isn't he adorable? Yeah, he's pretty great. Didn't think Lucas would get more red, but he's proved me incorrect. His flesh skin is easily visible due to his dark fur. His tail, on the other hand, is thrashing about wildly, not aggressively like it when he's angry, but closer to a wag. It's so baffling someone so loud can be so demure, but Ari is right. Lucas can be pretty adorable, even if I don't always understand why he does some of the things he does. You're pretty cute too, very kind. The guys at the club would love you. Oh boy. The guys at the club like any guy was an outright ugly. Looks like Lucas is finally joining the conversation, but his entire demeanor has that twinge of awkward embarrassment to it. His tone is sharp and not unfriendly. It's almost reassuring to turn back to his usual tone, as strange as that tone can be. Sure, but that's because most guys have something going for them. More like they're desperate. Okay. Oh boy. Hell yes. God, I love sassy Lucas. They're not the ones who are desperate here. Knowing smile across Ari's face, and I can't help but wonder the implication of that. Lucas doesn't look offended by it at all, but his eyes do slip away when he catches my eyes. Their dynamic feels comfortable. This kind of teasing must be pretty calm between them. Feels brotherly in a way I wasn't expecting. So what's this club? Oh, just my theater club. Ew. They come around sometimes, all the boys do at least. There's an innocent smile, which is likely hiding less than innocent implications around it. Looking up at him this close causing me to notice something I didn't notice before. On the ear lacking the chain sit 2 earring studs. So the giggle, and I'm pretty sure it's because he caught me staring. The way his eyes keep contact with mine and shivers through my spine. Reminds me of Oscar with a lot more subtlety, or maybe he's more like a flamboyant Lee. Regardless, it would be disingenuous to say he's unattractive. I know, it's such a stereotype. What can I say? I love the attention. For the record, only half the guys here that are gay. It's little gay guys. Aren't Travis and Connor bi? I say they're all straight, sweetie. You slept with Callum on Monday. He's straight, closed his eyes during it. Plus we didn't fuck, it was just a BJ. Holy shit! Holy shit! Who's even left? Hunter Strain is a stable girlfriend. She's the lead, by the way, Walter. It's Wallace. Yeah, be a little more like a Walter, so I'm gonna call you that. Sure. Great, no, I like you. If things with Lulu don't work out here, I just broke up with Noelle, so I'll be free. He'll sleep around you when we're not dating. We just met and I don't want a boyfriend. Excuse you, I still want the permission. I'm not gonna cheat. Ari doesn't know the latter. I feel up Lucas's objection, but he does flash me a smile, making it pretty clear he's just teasing Lucas. At least I think that's what he's going for. Didn't you break up with Noelle for cheating? Yes, but you got a guy in the date. Very different. Is it? Banter between the tone feels familiar. It's rather soothing. Lucas even seems to have fully calmed down. Ari's teasing comment didn't even cause him to get flustered anymore. Can you take a shower, by the way? We're gonna get through the nurtulizer. Oh, am I? Excuse me. Without any kind of extravagant reaction or any offense, Lucas gets up and quickly trots out the closed door on their side of the room. Only looking back from him to give me a soft smile and a wave before it goes the door behind him. He's certainly unique, isn't he? But he's such a good kid. Can't believe we're the same age sometimes. Definitely an odd duck, but he's really sweet if you get to know him. He was quite intimidating at first. I can imagine. If he's gonna like when I first met him, that is. Can I have my seat back, by the way? Glue won't mind if it's in his bed. Oh, sure. Shuffling past Ari, the scent of his cologne, he's the one with any natural musk he might have. Must be a really expensive brand for that. Nothing I've ever gotten has come remotely close. It's... You can read thoughts, can you? It's K.R. Highlander. Huh? Michael out. Most of the other muscles get that look on their face and notice it too. Oh, I just didn't know they could cover up everything. Yeah, well, if you're willing to shell out $200 for a bottle, it better be good. You stink like you and I do. We gotta find ways around it, you know? You don't stink, by the way. Not yet, at least. He sits, his tail flicks around the chair instead of threading through the hole in the back, and he lifts one leg over the other. He sits even more daintily than my mother. Jesus, once again struck by the dissonance of just how flamboyant Ari is and the almost fearful way Lucas yanked away from me when he arrived. Glad you're a good guy. I was worried you might be homophobic or something. As soon as it catches his attention, his brow raises, and for a second I wondered if I said something to offend him, but the corner of his mouth curled up slightly. I'd certainly hope not. I did specifically ask for Lulu as a roommate. Oh, did you know him before coming here? Oh gosh, no. My roommate when I first moved was kind of a psycho, a real death to the gays kind of psycho. Oh, Jesus Christ. I found out because I ain't exactly subtle, you know. He threw this massive fit and made me transfer to another room, just like he didn't try to stab me. So how did you ask about Lucas, then? Oh, I just met him in the lobby one day, just moving in, and could instantly tell. I may stand out, but I can't find my fellow queen, too. Wish I had that. It would make life a lot easier. Probably do to some extent. I mean, you did try to hang out with him today. That might be your subconscious telling you to be swinged your way. Aren't you supposed to be a theater major? Honey, this is about being a fag, not about how your brain works. We're a little desperate here. Jesus Christ. I don't think that's right. I think every guy in my group is into guys. At least I think so. I'm not sure about Lee, though. He is. You think? Oh, you're misunderstanding. We went to high school together, if it's the same Ashley I'm thinking of. And the way Luke just described him, it sounds about right. He was 2 years older than me, but it wasn't exactly subtle. We fooled around once or twice, nothing serious. Wait, you fooled around in high school? With him in general? Like, get the feeling you're talking about in general. Yeah, I mean, how did she manage to even find another gay guy? I couldn't even find anyone like me. Well, when you open as many people tend to come find you. Gay, bi-curious, even straight guys just want a mouth. I'm more common than you think. Really? You remind me of Lily in a lot of ways. That cute innocence about you will take you to some time, but get you boys real messed up. Safely, of course. Scooting right past an implication mine is only brought back to Lucas. The sound of rushing water in the distance reminds me why I ain't here in the first place. Is he doing okay? Never sure if Lucas is doing alright. He's constantly on edge and he's so riled up sometimes. He's difficult some nights, but that comes with the territory, you know? Comes with the territory? Ask a lot of questions, don't ya? Oh, do you want me to stop? That one's cute, makes you look like a dork. Oh. Alri's brow furrows and there's a large enough gap after the questions to let me know he's pondering something. Not my place to say, but just a good kid never means bad. Took a few weeks the first time to get used to it, but even now there are times. There's some nights when things are difficult, and I think it gets to him a lot. Really glad you made a friend you. He likes you a lot, so don't break his heart, okay? I'm not just mean in a romantic way, though. I do think he's a crush on you. He gets so flushed whenever I poke him about you. The fondness in his voice forces a smile on my face, one that he quickly parrots. The two of them must be even closer than I thought. It's good Lucas has someone like this. Just remember he's a soft kid, doesn't have a lot of friends, so be patient with him. And get difficult because they will get difficult. I'll try my best. That's all I can ask for, unless you're down for a date sometime. Serious atmosphere showers, he chuckles his own joke. I'm not entirely sure if it's completely joking or not. That part of him really reminds me of Oscar. It's a joke, don't worry. You really are cute, though. I wouldn't say no. My turn to furrow my brows in absolute bewilderment. That caused him to outright burst into laughter. Not sure if I'm just easy to read or there's something else going on. Just really good reading muscle faces, don't worry. Plus I get this kind of reaction a lot. I'm mostly kidding, but if you can deliver any third, just know I'm down. Jesus fucking Christ, this dude is a lot. He holds that last part at a high key as if flippantly singing it. I'm not even given time to respond. The distant white noise of the shower finally turns off, and the distant blowing sound of a fur dryer picks up almost immediately afterward. Gotta start dinner. You're welcome to stay if you'd like. I think it might be best for me to get back to my room. Actually really tired. I'll wait till Lucas comes out to say bye. That's valid. Thanks for coming around and being friends with Lulu. It's been all happy lately, and I enjoy meeting you too. Starts getting up, only to hesitate and presses himself back down on the seat, pulling out his phone. After a few seconds of tapping, he looks back up toward me. Let me get your number first. I could ask Lulu, but I thought it couldn't hurt to get it off you now. Promise not to send you pics unless you want me to, because if so, just ask. I look real good under this, trust me. Jesus Christ. This fucking dude. Not even trying to respond to that. There's a beat of sounds. The only sound there is the blowing of the bathroom's fan. Ari's composure finally breaks with a snort, and he chuckles loudly, a much harder laugh than all the previous ones. His whole body scritches up as he cackles up a full expression. Teasing ignites the inside of my ears, and I can feel them lighting up like a fire. I take it back. Oscar is sincere in what he does. This Martin just feels like he's toying with me. I'm kidding? Well, not really, but I do want your number. I promise I won't share all the guys in the club, just the ones who would be interested. Don't worry, I think Lulu's cute too. They say three's a cloud, but it should be three's a good time. This time he dizzy wait before seizing up, unable to laugh as he convulses in his seat. It's not malicious, but I can't help but feel a little embarrassed as he collects himself. Do you like Lucas, though? Surprising clarity as if he wasn't just cracking up a few minutes ago. Ari asked that one simple question. With a mature, sensitive tone, his face is still glowing, that mischievous smile creeping across his cheeks. Does get me thinking, though. Do I like Lucas? There are moments when I feel like I connect with him better than anyone else. We have a lot more in common than I probably even know. He's really cute and he was a good guy underneath his rough exterior, plus helping that made me feel fulfilled. But he's difficult to deal with sometimes, like I never know what's going on in his head, even if he is easy to read on an emotional level. Seems like a lot of baggage, but I could maybe help with that. I'm not sure. I just met him. He's really cute and I enjoy spending time with him, but there's still a lot about him I don't know and a lot of walls between us. But he is cute though, right? Pine Martin's brows have a twinkle to them that gives me a very playful aura, like I've walked in some kind of trap. Yeah, he's really cute. He's so intense, and then he gets all bashful, and don't worry, I get it. He is very adorable. You're so mature for someone your age. Or maybe you're just naive. Either way, it's very attractive. Lulu's got a good catch. I'm not. Don't you worry about it. We haven't done anything. Tried a few times with Lulu said he wasn't ready yet, so take your time with him, okay? They found him cute. The fridge dryer turned off, leaving a vacuum of silence. With a smile and a small wave, Ari gets up with one graceful movement and heads towards the small kitchen. Didn't even end up giving him my number, but I somehow feel like he wasn't even really trying to get it. I'll probably just start off Lucas later. Phew, wasn't expecting that. What is going on here? Oh, it's 65 degrees. Okay. Neat, I guess. Neat. Right. Okay. That's something. He's only making a few steps before the door opens and Lucas walks out wearing a towel and nothing else. That's a fucking... Wow. Jesus Christ, shock immediately overtakes my senses, and I have to stop myself from saying something stupid. Lucas always came across as the meek... What the fuck just happened to my fucking phone? What the fuck going on? Should let me liberate my senses and I ate meat type, but here he is, just walking around, barely covered. Wait, does he? The more I think about it, he's never been the type to let the circumstances around him stop his actions. He yelled out loudly to an entire library yesterday. But he did get embarrassed afterwards. Honestly, Lucas might be an open book in terms of how he's feeling, but I never know how he's going to act. Judging from Ari's lack of reaction, only moving closer to the kitchen, this must be pretty common. Sorry, I just so long, my fur takes a long time to dry, especially my tail. Pulling my head, I notice Lucas' ears are flat and he's looking rather embarrassed. Can't even see any blush, but I can feel it radiating from him. Must have been staring right at him, with a very confused look on my face. Idiot, why do I zone out like that at the worst times? No, you're fine, it's nothing. He's checking you out. Ari calls out from behind the counter in the kitchen, this conversation stretching across the room. He was right in surprise, and my own blush rushing through them. Wait, no, I just didn't expect you to come out and just towel. Is that weird? I don't take any clothes entertained with me. Well, it's not exactly weird. It's really not. I just think he wants you out of the towel. Ari! That was the plan. Can't get just the towel on. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh! Oh hell yes! Leave me to pull the towel in a bit. There, just cover my eyes and look away. Only sense I can use right now is sound because it's overwhelming every other sense without allow already is laughing. My entire face feels like it's gone rose red and I want to know how bad my burning ears look. Next 30 seconds is nothing but pitch black darkness and continuous heavy laughter. There's nothing more I want to do at this very moment than just die. Wallace? Huh? I'm dressed, you can look now. Hold my eyes and peek towards Lucas. I can see he's wearing unusual attire. It feels out of place to wear casually at home. His body is still curled in itself in shame and he's staring at the floor. Why are you wearing that again? Voice was shaking, my face was completely flushed. I'm trying to regain my composure, but that really took my surprise. Ruining to get the image of Lucas's uncovered stomach and handsome face without his glasses out of my head. Don't really have many clothes, but just a lot of these. He was pressed down even tighter against his head. He pulls on my arm, to apologize, even though I haven't done anything wrong. Only the pairs of those pants and that shirt? Yeah, I like them, so I got a lot of them. Isn't that weird? Not allowed to comment. Pretty sure I have more clothes than both you boys combined. Already adds a sense of levity and comfort to the situation. Even Lucas seems to relax whenever the Pine Martin comments. How about we go out sometime and get some clothes? Don't have a lot of money or very good fashion sense, but it might be fun, right? It seems to have gotten him in a good mood. His tail immediately starts flicking about and his ears stand up. Back up again. Doesn't even give me a reply, just nods his head with a surprised look in his face. I'll come along too. Somebody's just chaperoning your date. Both wait for Lucas to come, but he's still too stunned to even react to Ari's comment. Paimar doesn't seem disappointed though. If anything, he looks proud. I'm sorry. I thought that dog wasn't allowed in the house anymore because they brought it back. They brought the fucking mutt back after they said that it's not allowed in the house. Wow. Wow. Make sure you boys get some decent clothes. Now, Alice, are you gonna still heading off or want to stay for dinner? Oh, you're leaving? Your trip slightly missed, looking with sad gleam in his eyes. No fox, he's puppy dog eyes, but I really need the rest. My eyes are like a forest fire. There's been little blaze in my sockets. That's a hell of a metaphor. Not metaphor, description. Yeah, I'm tired, but I'll text you tomorrow. We'll hang out if there's nothing else to do. Sound good? Definitely, I got more work done tonight. Simon, his voice surprised his entire body, making him look more energized than I've ever seen him before. Hard to believe he's 2 years older than me, let alone the same age as someone like Ari. Okay, please stop. You're making me want a boyfriend again. Come on, let's get you back. Yeah, so I can get back to dinner. We're not. Lucas broke his barely heart was interrupted by Ari dragging both of us towards the door. He's not pulling hard, and I think he's intentionally walking slower than normal. Wonder if he wants to stop. If he wants me to stop and ask if I can stay. We're at the door before either of us can say anything. Ari quickly opens and gestures me to leave. Soft look in his eyes, it's still extending the offer. This is the final chance to stay for the night, but I've already decided. Some short goodbyes and walking down the hallway, but only give her separated the door behind me open again and catch Lucas being shoved out. There's a spike of nervous tension that runs through his body when he sees me and he attempts to put on a smile. Oh boy, this is gonna be the There's a spike of nervous tension that runs through his body when he sees me and he attempts to put on a smile. Shaky but extremely cute. This guy's me the death of me, I know it. He's also carrying my bag as well. Must have forgotten it when Ari rushed us out. Ari said I should walk you to a room. I don't really know why. Oh, and to return this to you. Mind the company. That puts him at ease. His tail flicks at him excitedly. Catch his eyes again, and that burning amber look even more striking right now, as if the joy shining through them is the kindling his fiery soul needs. In what the walk back lacked in conversation, it made up for in comfort. Words weren't really spoken between us, but it just being each other's presence is enjoyable. In moments like these, Lucas seems almost normal and less high-strung. He's got a subdued smile across his face, and his eyes don't look to be carrying that heavy weight they normally do. Takes me back to what Ari said about how Lucas has been happier now that he's seen him in the last 2 years. Probably exaggerated, but it does make me feel like I've done something good. That I can make someone who's always so down on themselves look so serene. Thanks for being my friend. Every time my mind Lucas speaks of talking directly to my thoughts. There's a lot of that in this game. There's a lot of mind reading I've noticed. He's barely catching my gaze through the corner of his eyes, but his expression lacks the shyness that Ari or even most other foxes have, from what I've heard anyway. The slyness. Not the shyness, the slyness. You don't have to thank me after all, you're my friend too. But I feel like you're doing much more for me than I'm doing for you. I mean, just look at you today. I feel like I spent more time, at least took more time trying to look after me than I did distract you from what happened. It's not true, you really didn't take mind off it. Today was a lot of fun, I mean it. Thanks. Says it with a smile, but his ears are drooping slightly, and his tail is a lot less active than before. Consider putting a hand on his shoulder or rubbing his hands again, but I quickly shoved those thoughts on my mind. There's no need to be so cautious. Straighten my resolve, I grab Lucas's arm and turn him around. He's got a shocked face, but I only able to see it for a moment before pulling him against my chest, gently wrapping my arms around him in a soft hug. Stiffens underneath me, but doesn't press or pull away. Stay like that for a second before he finally relaxes and brings his arms around me. Over his shoulder, I can see his tail flicking about excitedly again. This is nice. Yeah. Turns just how hot Lucas's body is. He feels like a small furnace. Wonder if that's because of his longer fur, or just if how eccentric Lucas could be causing it overheat. You're not a burden. At that, his grasp of me tightens and I can feel him trembling in my arms. You okay? Yeah, I've never been given a hug before at some parents. Not even with Ari? No one like this. Then I'll be sure to give you more to make up for lost time. As soon as the words leave my mouth, he presses his face deeper into my shoulder. With the quivering gone, it's now really hitting me that I am this close to someone else. Might have asked Lucas if no one else has really hugged him, but no one has been this close to me either. Looking over Lucas' back and tail, the way his body twitches occasionally, the way he shivers, and my arms rub against his shoulder blades, it's mesmerizing. The lips are becoming hot and different way they pull away before the situation turns awkward. By the flushed expression of Lucas' face I get this feeling similar thoughts are going through his head. Thanks. No problem. Can we do that again sometime? Surprising seeing Lucas take such initiative like this, or maybe it isn't. I got to remember Lucas isn't always this meek guy. Can be assertive and aggressive. I don't doubt that translates over into more than just insulting others. Definitely. The elation that comes over him is worth every bit of embarrassment I feel tonight. He jumps forward and wraps his arms around me again, before I can even turn the hug. He's already pulling away from me and darting back toward the elevator. I watch him, tail thrashing about, the sides of his muzzle curled up, and the way he seems almost to skip back, I can't help but have a smile of my own. Entering my room after taking a shower, I feel the fatigue from the entire day rush through me. All the excitement made me forget just how exhausted I really am. To make some food? Honestly, I'd rather just get some rest and eat a bunch tomorrow. I wasted any time to make a beeline to my bed, only sparing a moment to put him back on the desk. Falling on the bed, I'm flooded with my own scent. It's comforting and causing my drowsiness to almost overtake me. Or I can sleep. I probably check my phone with any messages. Everyone's probably worried about me after what happened. Hovering above my face, I can save a bunch of messages from 4 different people. Can't even think of a time when I've had this many people trying to contact me. First 4 are from Mom, just telling me she hopes I'm having a good week and that she and Dad are always available if I need to talk, and I'm always welcome home whenever I need it. The benefits of still being in the same town, I suppose. Brings a warm feeling to my chest, and I feel a bit of guilt for not calling them as much, but I think they understand I need some time. As a compromise, I send them a text letting them know that I love and just miss them. Hopefully that's enough for now. The next batch, a message from Lee. Yo, everything going alright? Other kid doing better? Are you? Can't help but smile as I read through the cluster of texts. Amusing how protective Lee can be, but it's heartwarming at the same time. He's such a mother hen. We're doing better. Spend a little more time at the library before going to his room. His roommate is nice. He's a lot of fun. Reminds me of Oscar. As my finger comes off the send button, I feel like I probably should have left out that Ori reminds me so much of Oscar, if Lee's policing of Oscar is an indicator. Consider asking Lee about Aori, since apparently they know each other in high school, but I don't know if Aori would want me to, as well as the Pine Martin later. Moving on, the next message is unsurprisingly from Oscar. Hey, everything go. Alright, but Ziniki's go. Okay, both of you were real tense, so. Hope you were able to find help each other out. If you slept with him, you gotta let me know. Bro, my eyes are very crude ending to his message. He's probably genuinely worried, but he's probably just as curious. Given even briefer somewhere than Lee's, or if I tell him about Auri, he's gonna interrogate me into sleeping with him next. Finally, I bring up the last message remaining. It's from Millian, looks like it's only a couple minutes ago. She must have finally finished everything and gotten home. Hey, you want us to, if you got everything together with everyone and get lunch tomorrow? I know I want to make sure we're doing good, and but everyone is worried about you. Let me know and I'll sort this out, okay? Not surprisingly, setting something up. She always has something in mind what we can do together. It's just surprising how organized she is. Really is nice to have people always wanting to hang out, though. Never really hung out with friends since middle school. Sounds great. I'm gonna get some rest. Just text me the time and place. I'll be there tomorrow. Do some classes tomorrow at 8 and 10, so anything after 12 should be good. There's a part of me that wants to call her and talk. I feel like she knows exactly what to say about everything it needs. It's just the vibe she has. But I'm much too tired after everything today on top of everything, not having much to sleep. I just want to crash for the night. We're already going to chat tomorrow anyway. Toss my phone over my nightstand and shove my head into the pillow. My body must be even more exhausted than I thought as sleep overtakes me almost immediately. Okay. So, yeah, that's the end of this video. And now I want to take a few moments to comment on everything that, I mean, this game is really, like, tapping into my memories of playing Repeat back in the day, and, like, for 2018, like, not that long ago, like 5 years, but still. Um, it's a really good game, and I like it a lot, and the characters are great, and Lucas is, like, the best out of all of them. I'm still really fucking pissed that they brought the dog back after our grandparents said they couldn't have the dog in the house anymore. Fucking entitled pricks. I fucking hate my sister so much at times. I hate her so much at times, and then I'm worried about her other times. But of course, just bring the fucking dog that you were told couldn't be in this house back into this house. Whatever. Thank you for watching. I'll upload this and everything and yada yada yada. See ya.